Hello and welcome to John chapter 3 as we are just walking steadily through the book of John all the way to Easter Sunday. And the idea is that we're just sitting across the coffee table from each other and just gushing about God's words. We ain't talking about politics, we ain't talking about anybody's flag waving, we're just talking about Jesus, right? And John chapter 3 is the crux of the gospel because there are two main things that happen in this chapter. There's Jesus talking at night to a guy named Nicodemus, and John the Baptist talking to some of his followers. And so let me give you the background on a couple of these, and I think you're really going to enjoy this chapter. First of all, who's Nicodemus? Nicodemus was one of the religious leaders of the time and would have very easily been seen as one of the people against Jesus. But he's not actually against Jesus, he's curious. But because of his standing and because of all these different things, he went to Jesus at night. Now, why was he afraid of being looked at critically by the other Jews? Well, back during this time, there was no social safety net. There was the Jewish synagogue. That was the city center of what was going on. It's where they learned the Bible. It was where they first started meeting once a week that eventually Christians would take and turn into church services. And that was also where they would take care of one another. And so if you got cast out of the synagogue, then you couldn't buy and trade with the local people. There was no social safety net for you. You were really in a bad spot if you became a social outcast. So Nicodemus, even though he's curious, just by being associated with Jesus, he could be completely ostracized and lose everything he has. So he comes to Jesus at night and he's curious. Well, Jesus wastes no time and he says, "You must be born again." I think it's just so much wisdom on the part of Jesus, not just looking at his time, but looking generationally. Because nowadays, today, people talk about, well, I can't help the way I am. I'm just born this way, or I'm born that way, or I'm born with this or that. And so it's almost like Jesus is looking through time and he's saying, you're right. You may have been born in a bad way because we're all born into sin because of the curse of Adam. That's why you must be born again. I can't help my temper. I was born this way. I can't help my issue with alcoholism. I can't help my issue with my sexuality. I was born this way. And I almost just like, okay, great. That's why you must be born again. And he talks to Nicodemus about the heart of the gospel, which is God so loved the world and he gave his one and only son, that whoever believes in him will not perish but have everlasting life. Now it's unfortunate that that word believes was translated from the Greek definition to believe, because it's not just believe. You can believe in Jesus and not go to heaven. Did you know that? You can believe that Jesus was a historical person, lived and walked on the earth, all that, and not go to, you can believe Jesus died on a cross, rose again, and not go to heaven. That's belief in. What it really is it's trust on. It'd be the thing as though I'm sitting in a chair right now. I could look at this chair and I could say, that's a chair. That chair can hold my weight. That chair can hold your weight. That's a chair. That's belief in. I believe it's there and I believe it can do what it says it can do. The difference is when I sit down on it and I trust this chair to keep me up. That's the difference. It's not belief in, it's belief on. And so what Jesus is saying, a more literal translation would be, God so loved you that he gave his one only unique son so that whoever would believe in him and would trust in him for their salvation will not perish, but have eternal life. I want you to read it this time with that context. The second part is John the Baptist talking to his followers, because at this point, most of the people who were coming to John are now going to Jesus. And they're getting a little jealous. They're like, John, the crowds, they're going over there. And John says, well, yeah, of course. That's the reason why I came. I must decrease, but he must increase. What a wonderful lesson for all of us to realize that the crowds don't make us, the crowds don't break us. Jesus is our focus. We keep our eyes on him, he'll always move us in the right direction. Hope you enjoy John chapter 3. It's going to be amazing. Let me know down in the comments below if maybe something stands out to you and if you're enjoying this, and I will see you tomorrow for the next chapter.